So if you've been keeping up with the Mira build videos, you'll see I use the Daihatsu Japanese parts catalog in order to like find the vacuum lines and how they were routed and just get more information about the Mira on putting it back together. So I thought I'd actually make a wee video showing how you can get it running for yourself and use it to help just find parts. It's really, really helpful for just understanding how things should be put back together, or how, say, vacuum lines are routed, how, and even if you need to call it Daihatsu to get parts, it's really good for that. It's not the easiest thing to get up and running. It only runs on Windows 98, so technically you could install Windows 98 on an old machine and go to that, but I find the easiest way is to just run it in a virtual machine. So this is on Windows. I assume this can be done on Mac, and it can definitely be done on Linux, that sort of thing. And I'm going to use VMware Workstation Player to run the VM. So if you're not familiar with what a VM is, if you're not a huge computer person, a VM is just essentially an emulation of another PC inside your PC. So because this only runs on Windows 98 and around that sort of era of Windows, we're essentially going to run a pretend tiny Windows 98 machine inside my PC, and that'll allow us to run that software that's only compatible with Windows 98. So if you don't already have it, you'll need to go to this link, and I'll put it in the description. This is VMware Workstation Player. This is just a free virtual machine software that you can use to create and open virtual machines. So you want to just go to this link. I'll stick it in the description, and download it for Windows or for Linux. Click on that, will download. I'm just going to cancel that, already got it. Once you've got that downloaded, you can open it. And it'll look like this. So I'll just actually open the library. So yeah, it looks something like this. I have this Ubuntu one. Let's just ignore that for now. Yours may or may not have it, but you just want to download that and get it running. You'll want to also download this, which I'll include in Google Drive, and it'll be in the description as well. And just extract that. Yeah, once that finishes, you can go in and you'll just see a whole load of files in here. This is basically just the full configuration of the virtual machine that I've set up. I downloaded this from some random, I think Daihatsu Hijet website, but I've made some changes to it to make it run a bit better on modern hardware. Because Windows 98 is so old and modern hardware is so much faster, it doesn't quite run right. I've heard of people like turning their CPU clock speeds down to make this run, but the way I've got it set up here, it works, but you'll see there's some sort of bits that aren't quite right. But anyway, then go in, open a virtual machine, and then just go into that folder you've just extracted it, and you'll see this Windows 98 VMware virtual machine configuration. Open that up. That loads all these files into configuration. You can see you've got virtual machine, Windows 98, powered off. So we're just going to play that. That'll start up. So you've got our lovely Windows 98. Now, the whole machine's in Japanese. The reason for that is because the software is Japanese. If you use the English version of Windows 98, it has none of the characters. It's like the software is just broken. So you have to run it on the Japanese version, unfortunately. But these are the things you have to work around. If all of this is too difficult, you can always just message me on Instagram here, and I can, if you need me to look for a part, I can do my best to try and find it, and just send me what car it is, and the chassis number, and I should be able to figure it out. But yeah, so you just give this some time to load up. Okay, so you're gonna get this message. I translated it. So if you're having trouble reading stuff like I have, download the Google Translate app, stick it on the camera mode, Japanese to English or whatever language, and you can just hold it up to the screen. It translates it all live. Really, really handy stuff. But this basically says, something's gone wrong, please restart. This seems to happen every time. I think it's one of those idiosyncrasies of running an old OS on really modern hardware. So you just go up here, as we can control your power, and just restart. You guessed. I don't know, just go yes. And it'll reboot, and it'll go into safe mode, which is what we want. It seems to run okay in safe mode. So we load into that. Now Windows 98's coming up. Hey, there we go. Yeah, so these errors pop up. Okay, I don't know what's down there. But yeah, like, see this error we're getting here? That seems to always happen. This one actually a little bit too big. Let me just squeeze that down a bit. There we go. Okay. That's what you see when you boot in. No idea what this is going on here. Let's see down here, the Daihatsu logo. That's what I'm looking for. So this is what you'll see. I'll try to remember to put up on screen the translation of this. It's all very complicated. From what I could tell from the setup guide I have for this is all like online stuff, which obviously that won't work because we're not connected to the Daihatsu system. There's different things you can do. So I think this is to search. First one is to search for parts by the menu, which is what we usually would use. There's some setup down here. I think one of these is like a price reference thing. I haven't been able to get that work yet. If someone can get it to work, let me know. I think this is like search by part number, something like that, so it could be handy. But I just have been always clicking on the first one here, and it brings up this screen. This is where it starts to get really, really confusing. It took me so long to work this out, and I still don't quite understand it all. If someone speaks Japanese or something, that could be very good to figure this out. But I've just been figuring it out by clicking on stuff and having it right. So the first thing I click on is this number 1. Basically, you need to fill in these fields enough so it can figure out which car you're talking about. I don't know what this first field is. I've always ignored it. The second one is the model number. So like your L200, L500, L700, L880K for the Copans, you know, that sort of model number that we're all familiar with. That's what that is. Next is your VIN number. Just need that. And then it asks you to fill in this number here. I think this is like the model code for that specific one. So although there may be loads of different cars under L500, there'll only be one car that's like, you know, an L500S Turbo Avanzado, like something like that. So in order to find out what this number is, you have to first click on this number 1 up on the left, and you can see this brings up a whole range of menus, and you can see here we've got the model name, and you can translate those, and here we've got the code, so L700, L250, L500, and there's loads in here. If I scroll down, see, and they all have on the left this 4-digit code. So what you basically want to do is go through here and just make a note of whichever one matches your model. So if we take mine, I'm going to use my Mira as an example. So it's an L500. So you can see that here. There. Its code is 1171. So you click on this one here and it'll bring us back. And then I'm just using the arrow keys to come across here. So I can tell from my VIN mine is an L500S. Leave that in there, press enter. And then you can see it takes us over to this field, which is that model number that we just found, which is 1171. So now it's brought us back and we can now fill in the VIN. So my VIN is 066609. Hit enter and you can see it's filled in all the details about my Mira. So you can see it's got the engine, EFJL, 3-door, EFJL, 3-door, 2-wheel drive, turbo, EFI, TRXX, manual transmission, 5-speed. Brilliant. So it's found our car. You can see it's got the paint code here, 685, which is that metallic black. You can see it was manufactured in 1995 March. So it gives you all the information. Now, if you want to search for parts, we then click on number 5 up at the top here, and it brings up this screen. So if you translate this, each one of these is all different categories of parts. Use Google Translate, it may vary from car to car. I think this first one is like engine parts. So if you click on that and it turns blue, you've selected that to say, I want to look at those parts. And then select more if you want to look at everything. Or unselect, you can just get any combination. But I just want to look at the engine parts for the Mira, say. And then we're going to click on this 4. And you can see we've got all these exploded, all these diagrams here. And they'll have these numbers attached. It's really hard to read these. You can click between 6 and 7 to go through the pages. So it's Japanese style, so 6 is next page, even though technically we're going left because they go that way. Yeah, we can flick through all the pages and you can see all the numbers at the top show us, and you can see it's page 1 of 2. There. So if I want to look at the exhaust manifold, I just type in 1701 and you can see it pops up there. And check your right, press enter, it highlights that, and then you press this number 8 at the top and you can see it gives a whole exploded diagram of whatever we clicked on. It's just so amazing. Like, I can't believe that it actually does this. So you can see like the whole exploded turbo, exhaust manifold, intake manifold, all the sensors and everything, which is so handy. Like, it's just, it's unbelievable that it just has every single diagram here. Oh wow, I just noticed there that actually if you hover over things, it gives you the number up in the top. So up there is all the part numbers, so if you want to search part numbers, you can use that. You can see that, just that blue bar in the top here. Every time I hover over something, it gives me the part number for that. Oh, that's so handy. Yeah, so we've got the turbo down here. You can sort of have a click about and try and figure it around. So I think 3 and 4 is if you want different, if you've got multiple things loaded up, 3 and 4 flicks between them. Oh no, sorry, it's still 6 and 7 flicks between, so this gives us more like up close diagrams. So it's previous and next page, you can see there's the intercooler. Oh, that's actually so handy. What I basically do this whole time is just take screenshots after screenshots of this, and it makes it a lot easier, so I'll probably just take a quick screenshot of it. So I can of all these exploded diagrams. You can see the wee intercooler, every single clamp, the sensors. Interesting, the part number things that come up on. Oh, that was on the wrong screen. Yeah. So you get the part number, so like that one there can tell me what that sensor is. You can see the looks like the boost solenoid or maybe the recirculating valve. Go to the next page. There's the EFJL turbo and the JBJL turbo. So you can get an idea of what all those are, and it gives you a suite. Either you could say to Daihatsu, right, I want part 1701288, and they would give you the full turbo kit. I doubt they still make them, but it's just classed in it. That's right there. So that's all the pictures there. Oh yeah, so that's the carbureted version. That's mine, the EFJL. Okay, so this is where it gets really good. This is all the part numbers. Obviously it's all in Japanese, but you can translate all of this, so it can give you an idea. If you're looking at those diagrams, you're like, I cannot see what is that I'm looking at. You can go down and translate all of this, and it's so handy. Yeah, and you've got all the part numbers there. It's really good. But yeah, I end up just like clicking about all these things, just trying to find something to do. Yeah. But that's so handy that you can just see the turbo just exploded like that. You can see every washer, every nut, everything. And then if you want to get back, just hit escape. Brings you back to here. You can pick something else. So say see what we look at. Say this one looks like 1902. No? Oh, 1302 I think it is. Yeah, so that's how I did that. Click the 8. And then I think, yeah. So if you've loaded multiple things, get there. So you can see it says on top of that 1701, 1302. So this is the cams, rockers, valves. Oh no, there's no pages of that. But yeah, you can see every little part. You can get the part number, so you could, if you're not sure what it is, you can check the part number there and then click that 9 and then cross-reference it here. It's so handy. It's just so good to see how it all goes together. And at any point you can click this 11 in the top and it brings you back to the home screen. And you can go back and do it again. So if I do my L100, yes, 1171, got it. And then 5, and say we'll take something else this time. I'm not sure what this is. We'll select that second last one, click 4. Oh, this just looks like body electricals. That's so good. Oh, you can click on them. Oh, I had no idea. Thank you, you learned something new today. So you click on that's 8301. And then, that's how the gauges go together. So that looks like non-turbo ones, because it doesn't have the rev gauge. I click next. There's my one. So the rev gauge, so I can even get like the part number for that. So 8301 if I want to get in your face for the gauges. Yeah, it's just endless, this. So I hope that's been somewhat helpful. It's very confusing, this software. It took me days to figure this out, like days on days of just clicking about, just trying things. I still don't know what it all does, but you sort of get there, and like if I click 8, so that seems to just, I don't really know what that's doing, to be honest. What happens if I click 10? Nothing. If I click 1, this changes. I don't know. Let's just take, so if I click 1 and 4, it brings you back here. And then there's different ways. So if you like knew the figures off the top of your head, I think you can use this to click in. So like I did E3, 1. That brings you back. And this, yeah, it's another way. It's just all different ways you can look up those figures. I just find this number 5 easy. So yeah, we can just click and select, and it just shows you everything. So now I know you. So I guess that's a much better way to do it. Is just to click on different things and just press enter. And you just click and press 8. Oh yeah, so it's the windscreen and the cowl and everything. Oh, and there's like the dash supports. That's just so endless. And look, you can see. So if you could even ask for like repair panels of all this. I'm sure very little of it's still being manufactured, but just being able to get the part numbers, see how it all goes together is, to me, invaluable. So if you have any questions on how this goes together, I'll link it all on Google Drive, and I'll link you that VMware workstation player, download that, install it, open up the VM, play about with it. If it's not working, like today I had to restart a couple times, didn't want to start in safe mode, so restarted it, tried starting normal mode, that worked. You just have to play about, such old software. Although this software is dated 2008, so Daihatsu were using this still in 2008. I don't envy them. So yeah, if you have any questions, you need help, let me know and I can try and sort you out. And if anyone has any VIN numbers they can get for some of these cars, so we can look at different ones, please let me know, because I'd love to just go through and search for different cars in this. But yeah, hope you found this helpful. Again, any questions, or if you even need a search for a car, if you can't get this working, fair enough. It's a nightmare to get working, at least it was for me. Just send me a message on Instagram, I'll stick it up the screen and I can sort you out. Yeah, so hope that was helpful. See you in the next one.